Welcome to Dog on the Plot. I'm Kerry, this is Dory, and today we're tackling the greenhouse. Now if you're thinking, sure Kerry, we've heard that one before and then 6 panes of glass later. Well, it's happening. Mark is coming down, he's going to be helping me, and we're going to make a base for the greenhouse and then glaze it. So I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to this. It's really going to be, I think, the icing on the cake in terms of getting this plot ready for the season. Now, Mark's not here yet, so there are some things that I can do in preparation. So these bricks can be moved because Mark is bringing me some bricks from his house, which he says are going to be better. I can move the slabs, which have been holding the greenhouse down while it's not had any glass in. And then this is where I have a bit of an issue. So I sowed garlic and onions in this bed by the greenhouse, only the greenhouse wasn't here at that time and I didn't know where it was going to be. So when we placed the greenhouse, it turned out it was pretty much on top of the elephant garlic. Now actually, I was pretty lucky because I had 2 elephant garlics right here, which I've already moved when I mulched this bed. But I've still got those 2 just inside, but none were directly underneath the frame. So I did quite well there. Look, those ones are over far enough. This one is over far enough. That one should be okay as well. So I think I just need to move these 2. Right, how am I going to do this without disturbing these? Right, I'll go in at this angle. Might just be able to do it. There we go. Oh, yep. Oh no, did I fork it? Oh gosh. No, I didn't. Wow, look at that. Try and get the other one out now. Whoop. Oh, I wonder if this would have been better to do after moving the frame. I should have probably waited for Mark to come, move the frame, and then do this, but oh well, we're starting now. There it is. Come on. There we go. Oh, I think that one might be even bigger. Let's keep as much soil around the roots as we can. Oh, that's a big worm. So I'm going to put these into the fruit tree guild. They will support all the trees and plants in here primarily through their scent. So they're going to be warding off some pests. I've also got chives in here. I put 2 other elephant garlic in. So I've got one there, one there. So perhaps I'll put these ones on the other side. Now that might seem of quite a big hole and a bit destructive for one little, well, not little, it's elephant garlic, but when I tried to do the ones over here, I just couldn't get deep enough with the hori. So yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. Right, let's oh, look at this clay soil. Let's crumble it in. It's absolutely gorgeous today, and I keep thinking it feels so much like summer, like to the extent of I feel like I should be by a pool, and then I realise it's because I put suntan lotion on my face so I can smell it, and it's, yeah, reminding me of summer and holidays. Right, this one in. Hello, where you been? Where you been, eh? Let's give those a water. I'm struggling with water. So, yeah, my water butts are mostly empty because I've been mulching the beds and I wanted to water beneath the mulch. I've used most of the water that I've been collecting and some of Mark's from his IBC, because his IBC has got a, well, it's not a tap, but it's a hose connector on it. So we could hose water out from this one. But my one, this is what I've got. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. It's like half buried. It's got the little tap and look, it comes out. But how am I supposed to capture that? So the only thing I can think is that, oh, blow my neck. Oh, there we go. Graham siphoned from the top, the previous tenant. But ooh, this is the only bit of piping that was next to this. It's not very much to get. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking on Amazon this morning for different fixtures for them, but it's a bit difficult when it's half buried. Do I dare try and suck this up? Where am I going to put it in? Right, I found a longer piece of hose. This was the hose that we were using on Mark's. I don't think that's good for anything. I've also just moved all of these. So I've put the big water butt now, which was behind, sorry, I couldn't find you then, was behind the greenhouse because I'm going to have the bath behind the greenhouse. So I put that one on here because it's much bigger. We'll get all the water from the greenhouse. And then there's 3 buckets along here. This one's really good for dunking. So I'm hoping I can do that. Which side of this do I want to suck? None really, but well, let's stick that down there. Oh, hang on, that's a really long way to suck now, isn't it? No, that doesn't make sense. But if it's too short, it won't go down. Once the top bit comes out, you won't get any more. Let's stick it all in there. No, there's no way I'm going to be able to suck all that, is there? Oh, let's give it a go. It's not going to work, is it? Oh dear. This may not make it into the video. Right, let's try this one again then. Okay. Oh, fall down. Here we go. Well, that, yeah, okay. Oh, no! You gotta keep them. Oh, Lord. Right, tea after this. No. Not gonna do it. Right, excuse me a moment. Let's have some tea. Oh, I can just see when my nephew comes down now, he'll be telling me about brain-eating amoeba things that are in standing water. I burn it off with some tea. Well, all that moving around of water butts did mean I found some water, so at least we can get these watered in. Did you hear the guy just come up and tell me that they're turning on the mains water? Talk about irony. Okay, I think that's as much prep as I can do before Mark gets here. So I'll have a little potter about until he arrives. Actually, I should probably get on and carry on mulching all of those beds, shouldn't I? Okay. It's about 4:30. Mark and my sister have just left and yeah, not done too badly. So as soon as the 7th pane of glass went in, I'm like, right, we've done more than we did on the old plot with the old greenhouse. So yes, the whole of the roof is done with the exception of the windows. So I need to get some glass for those. We didn't have quite enough. And then we've just done one side. Well, Mark was just showing me this one side and then has tasked me with finishing this side and the back, but we don't think we've got enough glass for the front and back, so I'm going to need to source some more glass. Base-wise, so as you will have seen in the footage, we tried a couple of things, and the issue was that this allotment slopes downwards, and I want the water to collect that side. So this needs to be higher than this side, which was a bit tricky. We moved the slabs here, which I wanted to do anyway because I wanted to make room for the raised beds, which I've now laid out, and I'm really pleased with that. So the slabs came forward, which meant that the greenhouse could sit up on the slabs and we could put the bricks underneath on the edges. But yeah, it just didn't work with the way I wanted the greenhouse to tilt. So on this side, it's back on the ground. This side is up on the slabs and bricks, and then we put some bricks along the edge. But yeah, I'm going to need to think about that edge a little bit more. Now, this was always going to be a little bit of a bodge job. This is an old greenhouse. It's kind of falling apart. The damage that was done when it collapsed, when it concertinaed in the storm, you could tell. You could tell it had gone a bit wonky and stuff. So it is what it is. It's going to be functional. It's going to be fine. But yeah, it's not going to be some kind of show greenhouse. So as I say, Mark has now tasked me with the site. So I think I'm going to do at least one, get some practice in while it's fresh in my mind what he was doing here. Obviously I was helping out, but there's no way I could have done this on my own at all. So as always, great thanks to Mark for helping me out. And on this gorgeous day as well, when he could have been doing his own plot. So really appreciative. So this will be the easiest bit, right? We need a couple of these things. Okay. Okay, maybe I should put some of the clippy things in now, the W ones. Oh no, where were they? Oh, they're there. I've been pinging these about the plot. This is the bit I can do, she says now, getting it wrong. This was my task, was to put in the W clips. Okay. Maybe you go up first. Oh no, that one's fell off. Right, that one's on. Oh dear. Mark will be watching this thinking, good grief, did she not pay attention to anything? Ah, there we go, it's in. More W clips. Honestly, you destroy your fingers and your fingernails doing this. Not that I have particularly great fingernails at the best of time. Very much gardener's manicure. There we go. Right. It was not my expectation to do all of that. I definitely got a second wind and yeah, just built up some momentum. I was only going to do that first panel. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I know this is not rocket science, but it's also not really within my skill set. So yeah, quite a sense of achievement having done that. So I've still got the other side to do, but I can feel myself flagging and I don't want to make a mistake and break any glass, especially because I haven't got enough glass as it is. So I think I'm going to leave it there and call it a day. Welcome back to the greenhouse, and there have been some changes since we were last here. So if you were watching in slight disbelief or grumbling at the television about what we'd done, especially with the base here, know that you weren't alone. And I woke up at 3 in the morning thinking, no, this is not going to work. This is not right. This is not going to be stable. And not being able to get back to sleep. And then calling my cousin first thing in the morning and saying, can you meet me down the plot? We need to sort out this greenhouse. And so bless her, she did. And my thinking was, yeah, it was about it not being stable. It was about it not looking that great, about it potentially making the greenhouse frame buckle. Because even though Dory, oh, you may notice that Dory's had her hair cut. She's like a new little puppy dog now. Yes, you are. But the other thing, so the other factor, and the reason why we did it as we did was because as I said in the video earlier, I wanted the water going that way, but the plot slopes this way. The main reason was because I wanted to put the bathtub behind the greenhouse. I thought that would look good. I thought it would be a really effective way of capturing water from both sides going into one big trough that I could just then scoop the water out of. Now, because we moved the slabs and I put the raised beds behind, which I'm super happy with, and I don't want to change that. I think the beds look really good. It means the bath doesn't even fit there anymore. So there was no reason actually for the water to go in that direction. And of course, it makes no sense for the water to go in that direction then, because actually the door of the greenhouse is here and you want the water either side. Go. So you can see the bricks are out. My cousin and I were able to just about lift the greenhouse enough, because obviously the glass is in the top and one side, but we were able to lift it enough to kick out all of the bricks and place it down very carefully without damaging the integrity of the structure. And it is the integrity of the structure that I'm worried about, because now it's on the ground at the back, but it's on the slabs at the front. Now, in terms of its tilt, it is actually tilting this way, although it looks like it's still tilting that way, but because of the slope of the allotment, the water will run in this direction. But the whole of the frame is not level on the ground, and that's the bit that I'm worried about. So I think either I've got to build up the sides so that there's ground underneath, but that will be difficult. It will just fall back down, I think. So really these slabs need to be moved. Now I've made that more difficult for us because my cousin and I, we got a little bit of momentum going and we decided to glaze this side of the greenhouse as well, which was what Mark tasked me with. So I've now achieved my goal of doing both sides. And actually, we also had just enough glass to almost finish the back. Not quite, but we got most of the glass in the back, and I've now used up all the full panes of glass that we've got. I have got some broken ones that we can utilise by cutting them to size. And we, in fact, have got the last pane of glass in with the very last Z clip that I had, but I have ordered some more now. So yes, it's still a work in progress, I'm afraid. And I did mention to Mark about moving these slabs, and we decided it can be done. Sure, it can be done. So that's a job that is upcoming, because obviously I need help with that. But I have still got some jobs that I can get on with. Now, one of them is non-potato related, but the other is potato related. And I know you're probably like, Kerry, this is the 4th video in a row that you've been doing stuff about potatoes, but it is potato time and it's time to get the second earlies in, but I'm actually going to put these in the ground. Now you might recall that my second earlies are Charlotte potatoes, and I've got 2 types. Well, they're both Charlotte potatoes, but one is commercial Charlotte potatoes that I bought from the plant nursery, and the other is saved Charlotte potatoes from my harvest last year. And I'm interested to see what the differences will be between the two. So what I thought I would do is put the majority of these in 2 beds next to each other, treat them in exactly the same way. So we've got a bit of an experiment going on, but also then hold back a couple of potatoes and do those ones in buckets as well. So not only will we have comparison between the commercial and the saved potato, but also the potatoes in the beds and the potatoes in the buckets. You know, I like an experiment. Also, it was our AGM last night, our allotment AGM, and all very civil, very good. Nice meeting, nice sense of community. But at the very end, because we were in the community centre, we found the brochures for the horticultural show. The horticultural show is happening this year. Hurrah! Last year it was cancelled because of illness. The year before, I have a video on it, I'll link it at the end, we had the best time, and there weren't that many people who entered, and so we ended up winning quite a lot of things, and a default win is still a win. But yes, it would be great to have more people going this year, but my Charlotte potatoes did very well last year. I can't remember if they got first place or second. I'll pop it on the screen. So let's see if I can recreate that success story this year, but will it be the commercial or will it be the saved? So now that the greenhouse glass is in on this side and I don't need access to do it, I can start thinking about how I want to utilise these beds. And I think this one might be great for the potatoes. So I can divide it in half to do the experiment. Now I need to prepare the bed. So I'm going to do it just like the ones that I did behind me. Hoe, weed, water, seed, and mulch. So now that the bed is prepared, and I've just watered the compost as well to keep it in place, I've divided the bed in half. I've just used my tile slates, and I've also selected my potatoes. So I've took 8 of each. I think 8 is about right for this size of bed. I've tried to pick all similar sizes of the commercial and the saved. So they're a good medium-sized Charlotte potato. Oh, you're just inspecting that for me, Dory? Yes? All good? All good. Okay. That means I've got 1 Charlotte left, which I can put in the bucket, and I'll choose one of the saved Charlottes, sorry, the commercial there, one of the saved ones of a similar size to put in a bucket as well. So all going to plan so far, which is the first time I think I can say that in this video, because nothing seems to have gone quite to plan in this video, including, yeah, the water disaster and the greenhouse. I've not got ill, by the way, so we're all good with the water thing. Anyway, let's get these placed. Now, how I'm doing this, I'm doing this no dig method, so I'm not burying my potatoes right down into the soil. I'm just going to sort of nestle them in the compost that I've put down here. So there's the soil underneath. I'm just going to put the potato chits up and put this compost over the top. But I'm not going to do that quite yet because I want to see my spacing. So one there. So you want 30 centimetres apart and ideally 60 centimetres between the rows, apparently. So I'm going on a slightly reduced spacing, I think. I think some of the saved ones are a teensy bit smaller, but I've done the best that I can to try and keep the experiment with as few variables as possible. Right, I can bury these now. So just so that they're on the soil with the compost nestled around them, like that. Now, instead of mounding up with more compost is a precious resource on this allotment, I'm actually going to hill these up with rabbit bedding. So those of you who've been with the channel for a while will know that a colleague of mine has 2 rescue rabbits and they produce quite a lot of waste. So there's wood shavings, straw, and hay, I guess, a mixture of the two, and of course rabbit poop. Now rabbit poop is a fertilizer that you can put directly onto the beds. It doesn't have to compost down first. So this will hill up the potatoes and feed the soil and the tubers. So this isn't the only organic material that's going to go onto the beds. I'm also going to be adding the grass clippings that I get from the church. So it'll be hay and grass clippings, and I'll keep hilling up as the plants develop. Now, I had kind of promised myself that I wasn't going to put the rabbit bedding directly or the grass clippings directly on the beds this year, because what tends to happen is, well, with the grass there might be weed seeds in it, but with the rabbit bedding in particular, it does sprout, and it's quite deep-rooted grasses or whatever, hay, straw, whatever it's made out of. It does really get in there. So I'm going to have to keep on top of that. But that's why I thought I would just keep it in this one section, and it'll enable me as well to monitor how bad that actually is, because it was hard to tell on the old plot what was being produced from using the rabbit bedding and what would have come up anyway. But here I can compare with the other beds. Now I'm only using small buckets for these potatoes because I'm only putting one in each bucket. So that's the commercial one. So put it down there, cover it over, and then that's about the right size for a saved one. So same depth. I also put a little bit of the allotment soil in the bottom of the buckets, and then it's got the compost, same compost on top. It hasn't got the seaweed feed because I've run out, but oh well. I guess I can always add some seaweed feed in later. Right, give those a little water, and then they can go in the polytunnel. I need to label them first though. Right, so that was commercial. So Charlotte, com, and Charlotte save. Oh dear, that's not an easy way to write, Dory. Pop those in with the Red Duke of York. Oh, hello. We have action in the Red Duke of York, and one there and there as well. Yay. Very good, very good. Now I did promise something that wasn't potato related, and it's in here. Can you guess? Yes, it is parsnip seed. So this is parsnip seed that is saved from this allotment. So another allotment here saved this parsnip seed last year, and I chitted it because I wasn't sure if it was going to be viable. But look at that. Lovely little roots on those parsnips. So they are very ready to be planted. Now the question is, where? So I already have parsnips in here with the carrots, the salsify and lettuce. We did that a week or so ago. No germinate, well, there is germination under there. I'm not sure it's the germination that we want. It may just all be weeds, but I've got it covered. I keep it watered, so fingers crossed. I've also done another row of carrots down here. Now I had a gap between the garlic and the onions, and I don't know if I intentionally left a gap to put carrots, but it's the ideal place to put carrots because the scent of the garlic and the onions will hopefully deter carrot root fly. Now I put board over it to keep the seedlings moist, and the ground is moist. I'm just checking for slugs though. And I cannot see any, I also can't see any seedlings yet, but it was only a couple of days ago. So we'll cover that back up, but there's no room in here for parsnips. So I can go ahead and choose a space in one of the newly mulched beds, and I'm a bit spoilt for choice. So these have got broad beans in, this has got field beans in, but I could do a row just here. So I'm just going to create a trench. And like with the potatoes, I'm just moving the mulch aside so that I'm actually planting into the soil, which means it's going to need a little water. Right, so I'm just picking the seeds that have chitted, and I'm going to place them. What spacing for parsnips do you think? 15 centimetres? 20 centimetres. Let's go for 20 centimetres. I could Google it. I'm sure it's more than you think it should be. But we don't need huge parsnips. All right, that's 10 parsnip seeds. And we've got millions left. So I'm going to find some more places to pop this parsnip seed. I know that the greenhouse build has been a bit of a catalogue of errors, I guess, but it's all learning, isn't it? And yeah, all fun in the process. Hopefully we'll get there with it. Thank you for spending time with me this week. I hope to see you next week. Goodbye.